right? They've taken down NRG twice, but that is the only team they've beat. Mind you, they also had to dance with Fnatic, and that's really dreadful for almost anybody else playing in the field, but they've done it once. Can they do it again? Starting off on the defensive side, DRX, given all the conversations around compositions and rosters, they finally have settled in, and it seems to be working quite nicely.
And right away on this pistol round, you can see DRX very, very slow, controlled, trying to understand which style of Bilibili they're going to get, because these two teams are familiar with each other. They scrim a lot over in Pacific. And Bilibili can be a team that instantly can frustrate you with the pace that they throw at you, with the weapons they use, they choose.
It's just so difficult to prep against. We saw how it costs fits against NRG in the past. Can DRX handle it just a bit better? Slow start to the round. They're all leaning towards A. The turret, making sure there's no flank.
And despite DRX, or Bilibili getting forced back into this A site right now, DRX has done it with no util at all. Only the cycling of that Viper wall, and that denies so much info for Bilibili. They just walked past the one-way at the perfect time, took all that space, and it's caused 4 people to be over here. Rin, first target, and he knows now that it's going to be towards this C site. He saw the fade.
He's seeing all the rotations coming through for the defensive side. It's really just K-Knight who's waiting. You see the dump of utility, the nanos, the nade on the other side. They're going to get vulnerable if they try to push through that smoke. They're going to walk right into Rin's crosshair. 28 HP still alive, though. The spike hasn't made its way out. There are only 10 seconds left. The turret's going to provide a little bit of cover, but it's dropped. I don't know that they're going to make it out. It's going to be a flood out onto the site, and there are a couple of members already close by. YZ takes care of Buzz. I don't know that the spike is going to go down in time. Just barely does, but all of DRX drop.
And despite the early success, I would say, from DRX there, succumbing to indecision in the final moments of the pistol round. We saw how effective and important these rounds were yesterday. And now again, Bilibili. I mean, great job from them. By the way, that KJ, Molly, and the Viper Orb, full fuel for them to be able to keep that up. Completely denies DRX from actually entering in. Big mistake there from DRX.
Just one round in, we're already seeing Stacks put his face in his hands, but you know, the desk was talking about how emotional a team it can be and how that often is one of the keys to their success. So we'll see how things continue to play out. DRX not opting to buy very much into this. You got a Sheriff in the hands of RB, a Ghost for Stacks, and Mako, and then just Classics the rest of the way.
I like that from Zest, though, looking early to break the haunt. That gets thrown out from Bianc. Doesn't actually come in that direction, and now he just has to play for the space spot. He can get punished here if they just follow up. There's only one player nearby.
RB's coming by to help.
It's a good cross. You can't really push much more into that if you're Bilibili without extra support or util. Not knowing what could peek you from the C side either. There's a triple possible.
Here.
So many things to consider, but DRX taking the space that's been given to them, starting lean towards C, and look at Rin just on the other side of the smoke.
There, actually, the smoke that K-Knight is throwing down is a lot of a gap into that site. That's why DRX uses it to look to break mollies. But Rin is playing an off angle into his molly for it. So anybody who comes through is just going to get barrel stuff. That's really nicely done. Good details there from Bilibili.
It's so difficult. It's clean, and it's an ace from Rin. BLG already riding the high. And you see just how oppressive that Killjoy and Viper combo can be on C when you're trying to play through that. You've got you've got nanos at your feet. You've got Viper spits too. You've got to try to funnel out with. It's so difficult.
Yeah, it's very basic, simple details here that lead to this. Then masterful shots from Rin, and for me, Bilibili in their entire roster, Rin against NRG was the guy who was keeping that game even close in terms of mistakes that he was making, but they're just the fundamentals coming through on that KJ. Phenomenal stuff from him.
Really nice opportunity here for BLG if they're able to convert this round to set up very nice financially. Once again, this triple push towards A main. A lot of presence here. Oh, this time there's a paranoia wrinkled in. They're going to push him right off that angle.
A lot of times this could force these attackers to go really, really fast into the C side or the B side, react into it.
Sure.
But Bilibili is trying to bait that sort of reaction out, and DRX is having none of it. Still wanting to go slow. Nanostorm popped to try to break the alarm bot, but Wisey is here to defend.
I mean, he's more than here. He's starting to push up a little bit forward, too.
Oh.
RB, are you aware that turret's going to help?
They've already broken all the KJ setup right now. Sure, the turret's on a cooldown, can come back at the end of the round, but alarm bot from RB pressured, and that's making Stacks have to spend Prowlers on the other side of the map when they need him for this execute.
Once again, heading back towards C, they've only cleared one of the nanos, and there it is again. It's so difficult to get through this. Buzz is melted! No entry into the site! And then you've got the molly out from Yosemite. This is just so clean from Bilibili. DRX not finding any room to breathe, any space to work. And it's another disaster. The bonus in full effect for BLG.
They're getting choked out here on this C side, and that's 3 attempts now at it. You've got to start recognizing you need more pressure on that side early in order to get some of that fuel down, in order to get that molly down. Funny enough, the goals that DRX is having right now to break some of that util from the KJ on B side, actually Bilibili on the defense is having more success with. It's really nice game plan out of these two teams.
I mean, it certainly helps when you only have one member on your team that's died. Rin is 9-0 right now. A clean bill of health for almost everyone else.
Fast push now for DRX on this eco. Remember, they lost that bonus, so huge cascade of rounds possible here from Bilibili. But taking this A control is normally a goal for a lot of teams very early, but I think that fear that it felt like they were playing with in the first 2 rounds, at least what they decided on for their own game plan, is limiting them in this access.
Oh, he's just so aggressive. There's not a lot of, oh, there was a little bit of help. I didn't see K-Knight there, but the Sheriffs from DRX keeping him down for now.
Now that's important here for Bianca to actually try to defend these weapons, and with that Viper wall up, he can do nothing for it. Just gonna try to use the timing right there to see if he can catch somebody going for it late.
He's got a haunt. I mean, still full utility.
There's a push coming from the door too, Yosemite.
They're
gonna double peek.
Yep, they've got a nice pinch here. Only one weapon has been upgraded so far, and that instantly finds value, but the timing from Bianca's gorgeous! All 3 fall as BLG get another!
And it's the first real success from DRX, instantly snuffed out.
Whoa.
And a timeout because of it too. Yeah, you gotta get on the same page here.
That's huge.
Because think about this on the other side. Bilibili is completely on the same page. You see Bianca getting these kills, but at the same time too, you had Yosemite coming in through the breakable door, and Rin was involved as well. All 3 players alive, getting involved in that final fight. Beautiful stuff. Just consistently have to commend these guys over and over for the level of Valorant that they are showing. Despite sometimes, and I know a lot of people trying to criticize them in that NRG game for looking a little chaotic, looking like they're relying on the whimsy and not their fundamentals, but in my mind, this team has shown so many different levels of their ability.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of depth to how they play, but then also, I mean, I think it's a fair question that has to be asked at this point. While I know it's early, if the whimsy works, and if the whimsy consistently works, and you have depth to other things in your game plan that allow you to play with a little bit of whimsy and know you can still throw curveballs at what's on the other side of the stage, I mean, why not?
Yeah, 100%. Right now, it's just full depth, and that's causing DRX. I mean, they need to think about how to approach this a little bit better. That C site needs to be pressured a lot more. They need to get that util out from Rin. They need to potentially even rotate him off of that site. And then they need to be decisive when they're hitting. Try to get in those timings when that fuel is low from Yosemite.
A 10-0 start for Rin. A Killjoy's dream, to be honest.
Just so good. And now they have to deal with Wisey's op coming online. Aggressive already against Buzz here.
He's so far ahead.
Should have heard the TP.
He's so far ahead. The Prowler in his face. He's got to try to get away. Manages to survive without taking any damages. You see a second one come through as he tucks behind, tries to land the shot, but Buzz from up top with the nade is just too much.
And important here, Rin does not have a second molly. Must use it to try to get Wisey in position.
He does have a lockdown though. And honestly, with the way he's been playing, he might be all right anyway. DRX still feeling some of the pressure. They've got what they wanted. They took down the op. They took down Wisey. They want to flip the map.
And they do have Buzz as showstopper now. His rocket could help take a lot of space here, but with Yosemite and Bianc, needs to be well considered.
They've got to be careful, though. I think if they push Yosemite here, there's not much room for him to help. He's got to play his life very dangerously, or he just pushes forward, gets haunted, and gets a kill onto Stacks.
C's comes in to delay as well, so DRX still not making their way into main. They're going into Rin.
Oh, right back into Rin, you're right. Rin finally dying at the hands of Buzz. The B side open, the spike planted, and DRX in control for what feels like the first time, really, all map. K-Knight pushing forward, Buzz with 3 on the round, looking for the 4th. Yosemite on the counter, though, as they're going to claw their way back into this thing. Mako's left alone in a 1v2. Has to make something happen in a situation like this. It's been dire, it's been ugly, and it's not getting any better. Yosemite gets a 3rd as BLG gets a 5.
Where is DRX right now? That was a 1 round. When they started hitting that B side, it felt like a 1 round. And then all of a sudden it turns so fast. They got the first kill on YZ. They got success in terms of map control. Just the final hurdle, they don't use that ult. They don't use the tools that they had in that to be able to push through. And they're again, Bilibili is causing fits with all the util. Everything is precise, perfect.
I got their omen.
That C's delayed for so long, for Yosemite to stay alive for so long, and that actually caused them to pivot into the B site where, again, you have players ready for it.
Precise, perfect, and honestly problematic for DRX. And all the questions about, well, maybe it was just, whimsy, as you were saying, against NRG. Can they do it here? You're right, Ball. They're showing a different flavor of Valorant towards DRX, and they don't like how it tastes.
No, in the first series against NRG, it was Judge. That was the story. It was like, oh my God, why is he just crazy with the Judge, tilting the other team? In their second series, not at all. There's very little elements of that in terms of the clutches. Sure, it was tilting, but that was it. Here comes Buzz.
Takes a different path, but YZ gets to kill himself. What the heck happened there? YZ already with 2. The spike out of reach. The round is done. I don't know how they get into this.
There.
It's a nookie dodge up high. Buzz was so high, too. Couldn't get a hold on that rocket.
YZ's gotten 3 on the round. Perhaps another ace on the cards. YZ with 4. The ace on the other side, and it delivers once more.
2 rounds out of 6. We've had aces by Bilibili and 0 rounds for DRX thus far. If you wanted a bloodbath, you got it. This Lotus is looking phenomenal from Bilibili right now. Looking like nothing can stop them. Looking like multiple players can step up at any point.
What do DRX do from here? The buy is less than ideal. A Guardian and a Bulldog for Zest. And then just pistols. They have failed to find success with some of their ultimates. I think again about Buzz's previous round and how YZ got the best of him, but this time not the case.
They've gotten first kills on these eco rounds before, but nothing to be able to capitalize on anything here. YZ again falling, but this time the gun way deep, very safe. They're not going to be able to recover it. They're going to have to use what they have. And that's a lot of space, a lot of control. They're still behind the Viper wall, sure, but lockdown, there's tools here still. And RB potentially could get a really late lurk if they do opt to go into this A side.
I think the question too is how patient is Ren? As Bianc falls on the opposite side of the map, you feel the rotations having to come through. Knight's in a really good spot, and of course, K-Knight gets 2. Repositioning on the 3rd. Not able to land, but Yosemite does.
30 seconds
They've
left.
somehow gotten this back to a 2v2. I don't understand. I don't understand how they're going to do it again.
Down A.
It just makes no sense.
And once again, DRX scratching their heads. 2 early kills. This is a knife the wall. He only has a sheriff. He has to die here. He already has his lockdown. So honestly, the Bilibili players might keep him alive.
That's just more fun. That's just more fun. Yosemite with 3, DRX still fat goose egg on the scoreboard.
This is crazy. And we are entering this series in another situation where people are still doubting Bilibili. Yes, they've only played against one team in NRG and got success against them. But here they are against the doubters, 7-0 up right now. Unfathomable.
And a furrowed brow for the IGL of DRX is he's the one who has to figure out what the heck do they do in the face of this. They have 4 ultimates to work with this time. Maybe that's the key.
It's a tough decision too. Like at this point, you probably want to start thinking about a second timeout before this gets completely out of hand.
Is it not already? Because, I mean, if you invest that here, you're dry the rest of the map. Termi has already called one.
Face your fear.
Nightfall through, Buzz satcheling forward. They've created some space. What do they do with it? You see K-Knight is already ulted to join the defenses of Bilibili. They're already all here.
This might be the first plant of the game for DRX right now.
Yeah, you may be right. Or maybe the pistol where
Yeah, the pistol where they barely got it. Felt like the round was already over. This time, plenty of tools. The lockdown, they've got the pit too if they need to. Won't invest it here.
Note here, Pionk 1 point away from having the Nightfall. But Mako, from a distance, keeping them back. At least attempting to. YZ detained. He's got to take a step back. You see the pit now in play. K-Knight pushing forward, trying to find anything that he can claim. Really, nothing's going to be found, but they've bought enough time for him to get back online. Pionk's going to be on the tap. Stacks dropping him first. And nothing going to happen. I thought for a moment maybe they get to half and something happens, but DRX finally cauterize the bleeding and get on the board.
All it took there was a fast round, and Rain gives up that C site.
Well, it took a fast round. It took, what, 3 ultimates?
Yes.
4 ultimates, something like that?
Absolutely.
And
but in terms of the early success, being able to get on site, which is where they've struggled so much.
Yeah, I think the other thing we have to consider here is it was a different defensive setup from Rin. He didn't have his typical Molly setup and Nano setup that we'd seen in the previous rounds.
Yeah.
So Buzz was able to satchel out and create some space.
I think a big wow, a timeout from Bilibili. Up 7-1. But I think the reason for that is because he's had such success. You can start to cheat. You can start to do things that get you extra value elsewhere.
Yeah.
And for Rin, he might have been thinking the B side. I'm not exactly sure where his setup was, but either way, DRX is able to capitalize, and now they start to have to deal with the same things that they were all series long so far. 7-1 again. Mind blown. This is a team that is stepping onto the global stage for the first time, stepping into the global playoff stage for the first time. And they're doing this. It's about time we stop doubting.
Perhaps that one round and the cheers from the crowd is enough for DRX to make a run at this. It's been an abysmal start for them so far on Lotus. But somehow, through the disaster, there's an opportunity to stabilize and convert. Or not. Rin is just on a heater, man.
He's been so good. They're going to try to go fast in it again. Nade lands on him, but this time he gets the early kill, so if he falls off, oh!
Another Molly kill.
They're both traded there.
They finally both fall, and this time the rotations are a little late, but it's not because they weren't proactive. It's because they're flanking through spawn.
I don't think that turret was up right now, so this double flank could be huge.
The Nightfall funneling them right into BLG's lap once more. YZ with the showstopper connects onto Buzz. The 3K and the 8th for Bilibili.
It's perfect right away. Out of Bilibili. They follow up on what was successful for DRX, and they figure out, let's just push this A site instantly. And when you start to get those kills coming in from Rin, when you start to get that Molly traded, yes, it's a 3v3 once you get the site, but that forces RB to come on over and give up the turret. Nightfall pushes them into the flank. It's just beautiful. Once again, such a strong response. out of that timeout and effective right away, too. They might not need a second one. I love the fact that they called it here in this first half to just try to really push that knife in.
And the potential here for the twist of that to be their demise. A judge for Buzz this time around, and a heavy lean towards C once more.
And don't forget, because they won a round, they reset the loss bonus, so this becomes a very impactful round for DRX. They kind of have to win.
He's already gone his way out. The judge is not finding any value. Yosemite staying alive long enough to drop that molly and getting a kill on Mako. I mean, that was a little aggressive by Rin there. But a 3v3 for the rest of the round. Two members still rotating over. Bianca a bit of pressure.
Spike planted.
Double flank again through the door this time, and it comes really fast.
That
I don't
nade
think RB
is deep.
expected it.
No, he's so dead. But Zest on the counter, a 2v2. BLG trying to retake the site.
Oh, the satchel.
He's gotten his way through, and YZ with 3.
What is going on? Why is he just satcheled his own teammate there, gets up top, and gets the kills? It's like he baited his own teammate forward. And they're just destroying. He's asking what the heck is going on himself. This guy is destroying. He had already the highest ACS in the entire tournament. Second highest ADR, first among the players who are still playing. And here again, 15 and 3, it's gotta be up there for another just disgusting game.
And you effectively create a high-low, and even then, you see it. YZ was essentially isolated in that 1v2. Question marks. Question marks all over the place. There's always a Cinderella Balla. It always seems like there's a Cinderella, and this one seems to be fit to the size of BLG. That Slipper fitting quite nicely as they're up 8 rounds against DRX. A team that looked revitalized, a team that looked reinvigorated.
And they're getting so much value out of any of these A pushes. At this point, DRX has to start getting ready for dealing with the follow-up flanks that come despite getting some success on pushing into that C site. Finally, we're having some satchels early to try to break it. There, it broke both. Letting it stay alive for max damage. On the radius and YZ, we've seen this before. The turret did spoil the fun for him on this flank. The turret's down.
No way,
I mean,
no way.
What timing? Why is it that RB is the guy going so far here to break this door, knowing that he needs to keep that util up? It's like he's trying to make a play while the rest of them are following up behind his play, his idea. Door broken.
YZ, who's already found value on one, looking for the second, is Bianca, and the rest of BLG try to hold A. And my goodness, once more, nothing for RB to do when you're running 1v5 at the end of the round like that. I mean, what options do you have?
And you saw the traded flashes there. Both Omens using their paranoia, and I really think that it's fitting because Bilibili is abusing
30 seconds left.
DRX's paranoia here in terms of what could happen, in terms of the fact that this is such a devastating scoreline. DRX on the precipice of a massive first map loss here. We're about to enter halftime, but we're also already, maybe it's starting to declare this game is over right now.
I mean, we're close with it. We're flirting with it for sure.
11-1 would just be disgusting. Would be our biggest half of this tournament.
Just one round. Really the only thing keeping Bilibili from a perfect half. Against DRX, no less. Again, I can't stress the importance of that. DRX looks so good. They went through the gauntlet that was Group D. And people thought, well, Bilibili, yeah, maybe they got the best of NRG, but surely they can't do it again, right?
Oh my goodness, they used the showstopper to clear mound and not to actually execute on the site. Oh, and it gets a kill anyways. That's not supposed to happen.
No.
Why is he again? He's gonna respond. Whoa.
Oh, that was a little aggressive. That was a little bold. Somehow stays alive. You see 2 haymakers shot out. BLG, the attempt at a knockout punch, and for DRX, the attempt to just get back into this thing to give themselves a fighting chance. DRX, a 5v2 to close out the half.
30 seconds left.
Surely it doesn't happen like this, right? Surely it doesn't happen like this. Beyond's already gotten 2. YZ in a 1v3. Make that a 1v2. The timing is not great as DRX finally get a second.
A ridiculous half nonetheless, though, from Bilibili. That is dominant, 10-2. How can you even think of responding here from DRX? How do you get your mind right? Going into not only the next map, but the next half. This is just a stomp.
The next half, when you consider the attacking side of Lotus, should be a little bit more favored here. But we'll see. We'll see if that's the case. We'll see if they can pull it back together. A 10-2 lead in favor of Bilibili. Golden Boy on the desk to break down that first half.
Thank you so much, fellas, and I think we'll just go straight into our Verizon high-speed moment. It's, of course, YZ's ace in round number 6. What a play. And also, just in general, Mimi, this BLG team, they're here to cook. They are frying.
BLG, I think their reactions across this entire map were so good. On all of these retakes, YZ was going absolutely insane. I mean, the reaction time to satchel above the opponent's ultimate, pull out his own ult, to counter it, then throw the nade on the fly and find the perfect gap to take a kill. The team is playing well. They're setting YZ up excellently, and his mechanics are just ridiculous right now, Seth.
Yeah, he's just putting on an absolute clinic here when it comes down to this race, especially his movement has just been absolutely gorgeous. His rifling completely on point, and he has just been blowing them out of the water.
Yeah, it's scary. Like, this isn't even... Like, this is not what I had expected coming into today.
I mean, DRX, they just look so different than what we expected in group stage. I mean, to be fair, they're playing against an almost 400 ACS Raze player. He was already statistically the best player in the event, and he's putting up halves like this.
And it's the defending side.
Which
2 rounds on the attack for DRX. That's an all-time low for them, I believe. Maybe when they played against Paper X in the Pacific Final, maybe it was worse, but this is not a good look at all.
For context, you're normally looking for like 4 or 5 rounds. This is a solid Lotus defense. It's insane. And DRX honestly look boomed right now. Slowing down so many of these rounds, running out of time, fumbling the mid rounds. It is so unlike the DRX of group stage. It feels like BLG is stepping up at the perfect time.
I mean, the 2 times that we saw DRX play this map at this tournament was a 6-6 and a 7-5 start on the attacking side. 2 rounds, not gonna cut it. This looks like it's over.
Yeah, this is a rough one. DRX are gonna need to climb a mountain. Let's see if they can do it or if it's over right here.
That mountain looks massive, Golden Boy. I'm not going to lie to you. BLG with an 8-round lead. Complete slaughter. They're having fun with it, too.
Hopefully they can continue to get smiles on their face, because Bilibili now on this attack side to close out, and they already got just an Omen TP across. That was silent. I don't think they heard it. I don't think they heard it.
They have no idea. Dude, K-Knight only finding 1, but the damage is done.
And that's the problem with trying to slow walk, take that control as a defense. You don't end up hearing the TP. Either way, traded back, and they've actually got a really nice pinch here. That alarm bot still will be up from RB while they go for this push into it.
They've effectively funneled them into B. The thing is, there's really no contain
and
on the spawn side of
the
things.
A players are not reacting to this. They should either try to take control of A main or rotate back to start a pinch going, and the timing could not be worse.
I mean, Yosemite's going to pinch him behind him. They're going to try to funnel their way out through panel.
Big nade.
There's a lot of trouble here for DRX, as once again, they have no idea of what's waiting on the other side.
And the fact that it's been quiet their entire time signals to everybody else exactly what's going on. Nobody coming through heaven, nobody else through A main. Oh, maybe not. Mistake there from YZ.
Yeah, numbers still in favor of the attack side, though. Now we've equalized. Rain is weak, 37 HP. The spam out from Akko into the smokes. They're going to have to pop their way out because RB's already gotten it 3/4 of the way. He gets it to half, finishes the job, and gets DRX the pistol.
Bilibili for the first time in my mind showing the first sign of inexperience there. Not really putting the clues together. Even though that flank was just perfect by Yosemite. Perfect by K-Knight in the first place to get that first opener. And then the situation that DRX went for was, again, ideal in terms of handling that post plant, but just really thinking somebody was coming through waterfall. Now Bilibili down to pistols.
5 Bulldogs on the defensive side. Surely you favor DRX in this round. as Bilibili have gone exploring a little bit, a 1-3-1, and they fully make their way out. I mean, the spike is in the hands of YZ, and he satchels forward. He gets the spike down, and he somehow gets away.
Wow. And already success. He's gotten 2 orbs in this round. Rin got the other one.
Hey,
And the plant.
you've got to be careful here. That nade is going to cause some problems, but oh, Buzz is just going to stick it. Never mind. He just holds it the whole way. I thought the nade was on.
And in this situation, the attackers don't need to go down. So economically, they're still going to be okay. Despite my heart beating for a second there while I saw all of them stay alive. It's okay. And again, I think that's a success for Bilibili, not only denying the kills from DRX there, but getting 2 orbs for YZ, the plant and the B orb, and then as well, getting that C orb for Rin. They're thriving in this case, and this is it. Big opportunity for them to close out this game. They win this anti-bonus. DRX, while they won't be out, you start to get those power ults. That becomes the win condition.
DRX just dumped so much utility towards A main there to effectively draw a line in the sand and not let him through. And I like that they're keeping some of this space as well.
That spray, the jump spot, Mako confirms there's nothing actually through, which means Bilibili needs to go for a second approach here. Plan B, rotate back towards C.
Second to clear some of the util, yeah. It at least drops the alarm bot. The nano mid is still there.
And that makes it hard. You can't play passive on B anymore. They're still looking for this, spamming down.
I mean, they just invested a prowler towards mid because of that.
And that's 50 seconds. They've gotten almost all the really impactful util down from the KJ. With this smoke, they can continue to look for picks inside the C site. They don't have to commit through this.
He's far up here.
Here's the freeze.
Zez creeping forward. K-Knight there as well. You see it just a little bit of geometry keeping the 2 players apart.
30 seconds left.
The timing on this is everything. That sees to swing out, but Zez somehow getting 2. Seems like it might be bonus back, but YZ with the counter punch. Yosemite with another in control for BLG.
YZ got his nade back too, so allows for this plant to go in, but it's a safe plant. They cannot commit to playing post plant from Mound.
They may not want to. Buzz and Mako, what do you do? A divided attempt to taking the site back as they approach it from 2 fronts. Rin tucked in the corner. Do you check it? Yes, you do. Even crouched, nothing converted. Yosemite's gonna have to do it by himself. Let's get down to a 1v1. Time on Yosemite's side is Mako playing swing around the Rosie, trying to find the timing. No idea of what's on the other side, and Mako reads it well.
Huge bonus for DRX, and all of a sudden, we're within 5. And there's a big chance here for them to start snowballing themselves, start to have a half similar to Bilibili. And you don't get into that period where it starts to become thinking about these win conditions for Bilibili being easy to get, easy to achieve. No. Keeping them from 11 is super important, while this lead is still so big. Because again, you think about what Bilibili have in the tool bag to end this. If it was 2 rounds, you just need 2 rounds of massive ults.
Right.
And as time continues, that's what DRX is really banking on. They cannot lose a round for the next couple.
I mean, they're still intent on pushing a lot of this aggression towards A main.
Whoa. That's fast. Good reaction from Bilibili. Instantly just pushing on the other side while they lose the other 2.
The paranoia
Big
in the
flash.
nade, it's so good! Why is he getting one with the ult? And now the Prowler to push them back even further.
This is the problem here. K-Knight doesn't have the smoke. They're going to try to push it again.
Trying to check both corners. And RB dismisses K-Knight. What else can they find? YZ and Bianchi here left in this 2v4. You see Buzz trying to satchel his way forward. YZ's gotten 1, but it's been traded back. YZ by himself, having to reload and reposition with the Haunt in his lap, and the pressure overwhelming of 3 members of DRX facing you down on the other side.
No way.
A desperate attempt to try to land shots that should not be connecting, and they don't.
Once again, really nice from DRX. Maintaining this safe distance. Keeping Bilibili away from that all-important match point. And again, we're now talking about 4 rounds. This is very much in the realm of possibility with how few we play. Big ult starting to accrue for DRX too. Notably, that showstopper was saved in this situation. He thought they were going to use it. And DRX's approach here on this A side is so important, crucial for them to continue maintaining this when Bilibili wants to work the entirety of the map. We've seen it before. We saw it in the last round, them attempt that. And if they can get success in getting kills as well, that pushes Bilibili. A lot of times their reaction is super fast to try to maintain that advantage.
I mean, in a lot of ways, this feels somewhat reminiscent to what we saw in the first half in how the defense is playing it. They're so aggressive towards A main, and they put the onus on the attacking side to either, I mean, if you want to go C, sure, by all means, but you're going to have to deal with the Killjoy utility and the Viper utility, or you try to go mid and you risk getting pinched.
Big difference here. As they actually tried to pressure that Prowler, does not catch Mako. He's making noise anyways. They're going to try to fight for this. DRX sticking around.
This is big out for Mako. What a snap onto YZ.
A great protocol there. That nade clears the player's A main.
He was ahead of that. Stack still wise to it. Nicely handled. Aware of the threat, aware of the danger.
30 seconds left.
Do they funnel out behind that Molly? Buzz with the ult, and that connects onto Bianc. And that was the spike. The Buzz has been so crispy these last few rounds.
And that's it. Spike down across the way, past the wall.
10
You're right,
seconds
Buzz
left.
is stepping up. In the group stage, they didn't really need a massive performance out of Buzz, the one that we love, the one that we see all the time at these global events. It was really Stacks, RB, those guys were consistent. Zest, putting in a lot of work in crucial rounds. And there it is, timeout from Bilibili. Surprisingly, it's them using their second ahead of DRX here. DRX still has one available.
We had questions around whether or not DRX would burn both in the first half.
Yeah, I thought they should have.
Yeah. But Termi continues to handle the situation quite nicely. As you're right, Bilibili now out of timeouts for the rest of this half. They still hang on to a 3-round lead, but it's been all DRX.
This is crazy. I mean, I'm already in that territory where I think this is a very real possibility here for DRX.
Yeah, I would agree with you completely.
5 in a row. There's nothing to sneeze at. Getting that last one so important. And while I still think Bilibili is playing well, especially how they're dealing with that C aggression, or not aggression, that C setup that was such a problem for DRX.
Yep.
They're walking in there, breaking the mollies, satcheling them down, and then throwing a smoke that makes it so difficult for RB to play around. I think those are the things that they're talking about within this timeout right now, how to really use that to their advantage. I would not be surprised to see them to go right into that and go for a 5 walk-in. Remember, the one round that looked like they almost would win that was when they ended up going into C site, breaking that util, tapping the door twice, freezing, and then going for another A or C execute when they had space already within the site. Didn't work though. But similar concepts can be applied. The other thing they could do is challenge this A execute that's constantly coming out from DRX, try to punish it with a molly over top, nades going back, prowlers coming through. Remember, Mako and Buzz stayed for so long in that last round. If that util came through, then all of a sudden, you would have had something different. This time, you do have difference from DRX. And Bilibili pouncing immediately. They didn't see that. They only saw Paranoia. They didn't see a nade, anything else, no molly coming out from the side of Zest. So they just walk out. And there's 3 hero rifles here. Even a buy down to 600 from Rin. Whoa, all the way.
They've created so much space behind all that utility. Look at everything gets dumped. The Nightfall, the pit.
Mako got traded too in door. He got a kill, and if he stayed alive there, all of a sudden you have a 3-way pinch and retake onto this pit, which is very devastating. But instead, you have control of door. It's planted for the spam. All they have to do is hold off RB.
RB's on the flank, and I don't know that the turret didn't see him.
He has a lockdown now too. Not one that you could really use effectively, but if he gets in this corner and posts it, you have to have a response from Bilibili.
I mean, there's nowhere else for Bilibili to
He put a
go.
lock
Oh,
on.
this is so well handled. Look at K-Knight understanding the pressure. repositions, tries to find some space to work behind it, and he gets a kill on RB. Buzz falls as well, but K not able to do anything more. Bianc and Stax in a 1v1. He's got to give up the space to see he's not going to connect. Stax has already gotten it to half. Pulls off, and the snaps from Stax is good. What a clutch. What a round for DRX.
The pre-fire's so good under pressure there from Stax. Hits the Red Bull clutch. Look at this. Key moment there, K-Knight trying to break that lockdown, instead dueling with Stax, and that forces Bianc to go all the way back in the drop and forces the rush in. That's why Stax is going for half, knows that he has to really run to stop that defuse. No mind games player played at all, either side. Oh, look at this. Buzz not on this A side at all. Instead, DRX making it look like they're going for one of those setups. And he's on the C side. Switching that up could really make things dangerous for Bilibili if they go for any sort of C pressure.
For Bilibili, we mentioned that they had 3 rifles in the previous round. Because of how they managed their money, they still have enough to buy in the light armor on 4. We'll see what they can do with it. It was a costly investment in the previous round. They dumped, what, 2 ults into that? They still have the lockdown from Marin. And again, we're seeing some of the protocols that we've seen to open the round, the satchels to clear out the Killjoy utility. But this time, they're committing. They invest the lockdown, they dump the nade, but Buzz again!
The break that, yeah, broke it.
It was that easy!
Yeah, that's the reason Buzz is over here.
Not only does he clear out the lockdown, but he gets a kill with it.
Oh, he picked up the gun instead of the spike.
That's the wrong package, it's not what you were looking for. Kana, though, managing to avoid disaster, scooping up the spike. And now setting eyes forward.
Left.
See that satchel through. Bianca's gotten some space.
Great season. They've confirmed the hit is still going to be on the C side. Nobody tapping the door.
Buzz in a position to find more value. Just one daring to challenge across the corner, and it is YZ. Yosemite on the trade. 13 seconds left. The spike's still not planted, and DRX still clawing for control. There's no way K-Net pulls this off, right? This would be a 1v3. Mako's going fast with it. Oh, he decides to take the fight, but there was still so much to do. Mako cleans him up anyways. DRX get within 1.
And so far, it's a flawless half from DRX. Right now, looking for the comeback of champs so far from a 10-2 half to within 1. How has this happened? And I have to say, Doug, I feel like Bilibili's still playing a lot of these situations correctly. But DRX playing them even better. That nade to break the lockdown, it's so good preemptively.
Oh, he's ahead of this. He's cheeky with it. Takes a good bit of damage though and stays alive.
And the moment you've been waiting for too from YZ, the judge is back in his hands. He's gonna get up close and personal.
No satchels left. 1 kill away, 1 orb away from having Showstopper online. As they dare to continue to challenge Buzz in that cross once more. And this time it's the 2nd time he gets the kill. They did get the spike down. Mako expecting some of the pressure out from Rin on the flank. Reads him like a book.
This is still dangerous. Time is ticking right now.
3v5, what do they have to delay?
Can they get this gun? Yes.
That's big.
That's the 2nd gun now being able to be picked up by Bianc, and YZ can get out.
It actually went into YZ's hands. But Zest has already gotten to 3/4 of the way. There's nothing to stop him! They created so much space in spawn, they lost sight of the spike!
Again, an ingenious play from K-Knight, but just not quite able to bring it across the line.
8 rounds in a row. Bilibili flirted with perfection in the first half. But DRX showing that they could do, at least for now, what Bilibili could not.
This is twice now that we're thinking, could we have a perfect half? This is ridiculous from DRX.
To get so close,
Oh,
you
that
have no
nade.
shot, bro. You're so done. You're so done. If it was not the nade, it was going to be Stax. The ult comes through as well as they push their way forward. Mako with 2. Knight trying to take a step back, dancing around. The Prowler snaps onto Stacks, well handled. But the thing is, through all of that chaos, once again, the dust settles, and BLG are down in numbers, they're down in control, and they're finally down on Lotus.
This is beautiful from DRX.
It's perfect. It's perfect. It's quite literally perfect.
9 rounds now in a row. A fantastic comeback. Now they are in the lead, in the driving seat too. I mentioned earlier how important it was for them to keep Bilibili off of 11. All of a sudden it's DRX with all the bank in the world, with that ability to have the same closeout, especially if they can get up to match point right now. And Bilibili is just riding this loss bonus, which means always you're gonna have a player who's low on money. Bulldog, Spectre's here. And I like this. Continue to hit this B site. This is where the least amount of presence from DRX has been.
No shot, bro. There's just no way. The ult doesn't work. Follow-up from Rin doesn't either.
And a second attempt at this site is something I like to see given success last time. But now that they get shut down here, now that DRX again ahead of that adaptation, ahead of Bilibili. What do they choose to go for?
I mean, as soon as the door was tapped, you see RB start to take a step backwards. Realizing he's in a 1v3.
Bomb grenade out.
I mean, dude, they're gonna challenge him much more. Yeah, he plays his life, and now Zest has shown up. Sax is not far behind either. They've gotten out onto the site, but they're gonna be able to establish enough control to get the spike down? I don't think so.
That kill back allows them the space to recover the spike though, especially with the nightfall, but there's somebody getting a little ahead of it.
And RB not giving up an inch, looking for the second. Beyond's there on the trade, but Buzz finishes it once more. DRX get to map point.
Not only map point, but 1 round away from the perfect half here on Lotus. We've only seen that sort of performance twice at a global event. And when you see it, it usually comes in a 13-0. Instead, it's a massively close game, somehow, some way. I think a lot of people maybe look back at this and think to themselves, well, it was close until it wasn't.
Yep.
But this is a comeback of the century. It's so beautiful to watch. DRX is ahead of every little step. They just need that last page from Bilibili.
And talk about forgetting about the past. They've done so masterfully. And they're now in a position where not only do they have the financial advantage, not only are they up 2 rounds, but they have so many ults they can play around too.
There.
This is what I was talking about, Bilibili. Really doing a great job of taking it to RB's setup so frequently. Only 1 molly broken this time. There's that smoke that allows them to threaten that they're walking in. Instead, they're going to go towards this A site. They are lining up the mollies. This is what I was talking about against Mako. He has TPs to get out of this situation, but Buzz is joining him, and he's getting really close.
He's ahead of this now. Oh my goodness, just barely spotted. The spam keeps him alive, and you're right.
TP.
Buzz is here.
Oh.
Just barely gets away. What do they do with this pressure, though? What do they do with this space? That Nightfall is going to get so much info. But BLG throwing the brakes on the round, pausing for just a moment.
Back to the B site. Pit going begin.
Allowing the Nightfall to subside, and they drop the pit of their own. DRX dudes, now they have B control. BLG, you've knocked on the first door, it doesn't open. Does the second?
Back to A, really? 14 seconds.
There's not enough time here. They've got to find success on this. The openers have to be clean. And Buzz, of course, it's Buzz who's here. And Mako with 3. The pit goes down. And so do BLG's hopes of winning this map. 4 for Mako. A 13-10 win and a ferocious comeback on Lotus for DRX.
One of the best comebacks ever.
Unreal.
How do you contend with this? If you're Bilibili, it's going to be a big question that they're handling after the break.
When you play an actual ranked game, it's 50 minutes, but how much are you actually shooting? With Aim Labs, you can compete in over 1,000 tasks that will prepare you for any scenario in any game. For the new ranked season, you play, you get points, you can compare yourself to your friends. With Aim Labs' new one-to-one Valorant maps, you get instant feedback on how to get better crosshair placement, better peak efficiency. You can also instantly modify existing tasks with Discovery. Get started today by downloading the Aim Labs for free and join millions of other satisfied players.
Red Bull gives you wings. Red Bull gives you wings.
What a crazy comeback that was from DRX. I am now joined by their coach, Termi and Jen here to translate. Now, Termi, you guys are no strangers to having a little bit of a slower start on your first map. We've seen it a lot in this tournament. Why do you think the start was so slow? But also, how did you make that comeback? That was crazy.
선수들 일단 10일 만에 오늘 경기였고 경기 감각이 좀 떨어진 상태에서 걱정을 했는데 후반전 때 그런 얘기들을 잘 풀어 나가면서 선수들이 분위기를 되찾았던 것 같습니다. 네.
Well, I mean, we've been rusty. We haven't played for 10 days probably, and everyone was kind of feeling rusty. But after the first half, I guess we were kind of talking about how to keep the energy up and how to play this out properly. And I think that's what went well.
Well, you guys did incredible. Thank you very much for joining me. I can't wait to see what DRX can do on map 2.
Thank you so much for that, Sue. And wow, you know, they say defense wins games, and DRX took that challenge. They managed to walk away. If your eyes are deceiving you, by the way, you know, you came into the halftime, you looked at the game, you were like, BLG's up 10-2, it's over. DRX had other plans. Achilleos, to our resident DRX expert, who I know just wants to lose his mind over this. What a game.
I mean, the fact that it was done consecutively is just unbelievable. And this is kind of the second time that they were in this territory, because I was watching this run back and I was starting to feel like, is this going to just be a repeat of Vision Strikers versus Cloud9 back at Champs Berlin? Because you go all the way back to there, that was a 1-11 half, which they then ran to a 10-13 loss. So it was a really strong comeback from them there. This time they actually get it done. So the first time that we have a 10-2 recovery and again, consecutive fashion is just phenomenal to see. The recovery from DRX after they swapped sides was just something that I didn't anticipate at all.
No one did.
They were one step ahead the entire second half. They had a read when the Killjoy lockdown was coming. They positioned their Rays in the right place. They're ready for these fast reflanks and punishing them. They constantly were a step ahead of whatever BLG was trying to adapt to. And I think this is really where we see that gap of experience come through. Because Bilibili, they had a hot start. The game was in their hands, but then those first few rounds start slipping away, and they're completely unable to recover versus a DRX who has been on these global stages, been in these positions so many times, and leverages that to just believe that the comeback's possible and make that impossibility possible.
This is just such an insular Pacific League thing, because Pacific is the only region in the world where Lotus was being, you know, you would have a stronger side on the defending half. It was 53% win rate overall across the entire league for the defending team in Pacific. But DRX basically never got to contribute to those statistics because they only played Lotus once during the grand final. But it seems like they're still carrying that mantra forward, representing the rest of the Pacific squads.
Carrying the flag for the Pacific region, you know, with that Lotus defense side. Unbelievable stuff. But let's go ahead, though, and continue the conversation for BLG as we check in with Yosemite for our Aim Lab shoot around. And as we, you know, discuss what BLG can do here, I was talking with Paperthin about this earlier, Mimi. I'm kind of curious if you feel the same way. I feel like DRX really did need that Lotus win. This sets them up very well for a 2-0 series overall, but to do it in the manner that they did has to be utterly deflating for your opponent, because it wasn't just a few rounds in a row, it was like the whole thing in a row, which is bonkers.
Yeah, there's two ways you can kind of think about this. Either we were a few rounds away from closing out. It was so close, guys. We had a great half. Or it's we just choked 11 rounds in a row when we were just 3 away from closing out, especially for some of these individual players. Like Rin started 10-0. He ends the game 13-15. Got 3 kills after that start. It was a brutal, honestly, just dismantling of BLG. And I highly doubt these players have ever felt that emotion before. That's something truly different when you're that close to greatness, when you're that cllose to a massive upset that you probably didn't even expect you'd be able to do, and then it all slips away.
Especially the way that they started. They were cooking. I mean, they were frying DRX.
I thought it was going to be a 13-0 at one point.
Out of what, 6 rounds played, they had 2 aces.
Yeah.
The way that it started off was already unbelievable. The way that it finished was even more so. But I do think that BLG are in a little bit more of a unique position to actually be able to rebound here because they're already coming into this playing with house money, as we like to say from time to time. They come in and they say, we don't have expectations. We're just taking this one series at a time. So I think that to be able to brush that off, I think they are in a good position to be able to do so.
But it's going to be so hard. Remember, this is the first global event they've ever showed up on. They just lost their map pick, where I thought they had their best chance to get a leg up in this series. And now we go to Haven, a map that DRX has always been good at, going all the way back in time. They just suffered a really rough loss to Loud on this map, but that was against the Harbor Viper, which I understand why they struggled against with this default breach
like
circle
more
composition.
of a regional situation
Yeah,
there, right?
yeah, compared to Bilibili, where they play the mirror comp to DRX. They honestly play a very similar style. I wouldn't be surprised if they watched some DRX VODs to pick up some of their stuff on this map.
Sure.
And I think it's going to be really difficult for them to get that leg up here on Haven.
Yeah, it's going to be insane. It's going to be really challenging for them because DRX are now coming into this, all the confidence in the world. It doesn't matter, like, the stats, doesn't matter anything else. You just sat on that stage and just got destroyed for 11 rounds in a row. Achilleos, BLG now have to dig deep. And if they're able to do so, that speaks volumes to what this team is capable of doing and why everyone should fear them. And I think they're capable of doing it. It's just going to be very, very challenging to do so on Haven of all maps.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I do think that they are in a good position to be able to brush off that loss. That doesn't necessarily mean that I think that they're going to be able to take this map, because Haven has just been that bread and butter for time immemorial for the side of DRX. They don't particularly like the map. They don't prefer to play it, but they know their strengths and they know, like, okay, we're at this stage. We're playing really well. Let's not just, you know, avoid Haven for the sake of avoiding Haven. We're good at it. Let's continue to run it.
To go back, though, to maybe some cope for the side of Bilibili here. They started so strong. They had great ideas on that map of Lotus. If they can have a similar read here, it could be great. But there's a surprise in the Prime Gaming Agent select. DRX has switched the comp up and maybe taken a little leaf out of Loud's book after losing to that Harbor Viper by implementing the Viper Sky into their comp.
This is really interesting. They're continuing to cook, but Stacks on Haven not playing Breach. Something about that just doesn't feel right. The Viper coming through. Zest has been picking this up more and more. I mean, with his opening matchup, I think it was like the second time he had ever played Viper. He's been getting more rounds in on it. We saw him just play it right there on the Lotus, but this is a very new look here from the side of DRX. I mean, they got to be feeling confident to be able to pull this out. We've been seeing new stuff from them at this tournament so far, but I don't know. Is this an overcook?
I think we need to see another strong start from BLG, a pistol round, a big play early on, something to get that energy they harnessed in the first half of Lotus back in the camp for Bilibili.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you're honestly hoping for here, right? This is going to be quite the matchup, most importantly because you have DRX coming in with a new composition, and new doesn't necessarily mean better. We'll see if it works out for them. Can BLG catch them off guard? Let's send it back over to your casters, Doug and Bala.
You know, low-key Golden Boy spitting when he says that at the end, because I think that's real talk, right? Good doesn't necessarily mean better, especially when you have a comp that you've been running for as long as DRX have on Haven. But we'll see if that's the case. They're starting off on attack ball. Meanwhile, Bilibili sticking to what they know.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is very similar to what DRX normally run on this side, on this map. For me, I'm fully looking over on the side of Bilibili. On that side of the stage, how do you contend with a loss like that?
Yeah, yep.
You almost pulled off what felt like an upset, and you lose in that manner, not a single round after the second half started. Do you collapse, or are you able to use that first half as a way to get back into this mentally? It's a tough thing to deal with. Now DRX with this weird comp makes it a lot harder to prep for, but is Bilibili experienced against this type of situation? We see it a lot in EU, some tier 2 teams playing it as well in NA. Viper makes it really difficult to actually play into these retakes, especially when you get to this A side of the map. And that's where DRX is going right away.
Meanwhile, it's just Yosemite who's playing here from Bilibili, and he's playing up in heaven. You see, they were concerned with losing Hell Control. They had the alarm bot, they had the nano down there.
Oh,
Yosemite
wait, he jumped
drops down? What?
And they're mollied off from spawn with the orb up. This is what I'm talking about. It's like impossible to get through with just the first wave of util. You have to wait for that second to come through, and here it is.
But again, it's isolated. Rin now starting to funnel out, but they've done such a good job of containing them out from Link. They just waterfall their way into the next round.
That already is the first sign of them not being experienced, but I was just asking about in terms of scrimming against a comp like this. The win conditions for DRX a lot of times is just relying on trying to get on site with minimal losses, minimal util, and then use all the mollies possible to stall. Not even play for post-blind, although that's something that they can rely on too, which is a tough thing to tell whether they're doing one or the other.
Right.
Bilibili need to answer both of those questions immediately on this defensive half. Otherwise, we're going to see the streak from DRX continue.
A little bit of information off of that flash, forcing the smoke out. You see the ward being picked up for stacks. And YZ's gotten a little aggressive. Nothing but a sheriff. And the alarm bot's going to keep him back. Does he hear it? Does he see it? It's cleared out. He dashes forward off of the fault line, and Buzz stunned up, drops him anyway.
The angle of that dash slightly bad because Buzz can actually hold that. First teammate, hold RB's back. If he gets up closer and then dashes into that stun into window, you're looking at a dead RB and a gun picked up from YZ. They're going to go for a second layer to this, push through garage fast.
There are 3 members here.
And there's no Trailblazer from Stacks either, so they can't really get this info.
Sorry, not just 3, the turret's here too. It finally gets cleared out. Meanwhile, they're pushing their record and they decide they want to funnel out into the site, feeling like they've lost control of the situation, feeling like DRX were intent on going B instead. They try to take aggression and it does not work out.
Yeah. That's the problem with going out garage. Yes, you can get yourself a kill. Yes, you can get yourself the win in that initial fight. But then it's so difficult because you can have players coming from spawn. You can have players coming from window. You can have players coming down the ramp in front of B. And that's what happened right there. Just nowhere else to go. That's 14 in a row now for DRX, and a big opportunity here. This bonus. If this starts to balloon, I don't see a way as a player you can stay in this when you've just had such a massive defeat.
No, I can't fathom that either. And remember, the first 2 halves that we've played, bonuses have been converted on. First, it was Bilibili. Second half of Lotus, it was DRX. Can they do it again? The opener on tonight is quite nice.
And Cest is the entry there, paired up with Buzz.
Oh my gosh! DRX may be back. Yeah, they seem to have forgotten about Lotus a long time ago.
This game might be the perfect game to make it so difficult for those people who love to overreact. And right here in the bonus, I'm going to do just that.
Yeah, go on, overreact.
Because Mako's on the flank, this round's over. And you also have RB playing mollies in the post line again. That's what they love in some of these situations. That's what they love to contend with. And I'm looking at a Bilibili who's going to struggle with that fact over and over.
Yeah. In a lot of ways, it feels like DRX, if they're going to continue to catch these timings, it's very reminiscent of how Bilibili liked to play.
Yeah.
I think about how they did it against NRG on Split. I think about how they did it to DRX on Lotus in the opening half. Finding these ratty little timings to expose tiny gaps and make massive gaping wounds. But DRX is doing the exact same thing back to them.
And for me, the first 2 series that Bilibili played, everything did go their way. They were winning clutches. They were winning magic moments.
Yep.
Not quite the same thing here. DRX is the one, in my mind, who's having those moments. Opportunity here. Bilibili on a light buy. There's a Guardian up for Yosemite.
And
Guardian down.
Yeah, and that felt like that really felt like a perfect representation of what you were talking about just a few moments ago, where it felt like the magic was leaning towards BLG. You think about that in the opening to Lotus or against NRG, Yosemite hits those shots. He gets 2, right? And the crowd goes nuts, and we go, how the heck are they doing this? What's going on? That spark isn't there anymore. And in fact, it feels like such a distant memory.
And against Fnatic too, it was like, okay, we're expected to lose this. They lost. You don't have to contend with anything mentally there.
Right, yeah.
Here, they've been punched so hard. It's a gut punch losing that one. You get all the air sucked out of you.
Not just to lose the way that they did on Lotus, but then also to start here. The fact you lose a pistol, the fact that you get bonused. Bianca's about to face 4 members of DRX. Yeah, he gets 1 for his troubles.
30 seconds left.
But that's all it is.
And you need to start doing some damage here for Bilibili. You can't just rely on your loss bonus to Balloon. If you want to come back into this, if you want to stop the momentum, you have to deal with the economy of DRX, which is really starting to go a little crazy.
I mean, it's mad when you think about it. Zest at 55, Buzz and Sax, 48 and 47 respectively. Like,
he did pick up a Phantom, so maybe he can save that. Walked away from his teammate, though, is not going to be the way to do it.
No.
And that's the problem there. Knight needs to try to die in this situation, whereas YZ wants to escape with the Phantom, then they can't play for each other. He's going to go back for the Phantom, which is good. At least one of them gets alive, but what I was talking about, this bank, ballooning and ballooning. The ult's ballooning and ballooning, and on this map again, this is one where his ults are so impactful. A pit by Zest. Lockdown, the Seekers, all such valuable tools here for DRX, not to mention the knives from Buzz too, although with Bank, it's really difficult to even find yourself a place to use them.
Huh.
And this timeout marks 16 rounds in a row lost for Bilibili. If you didn't have enough time to contend with that loss on Lotus, this is the time to start to reconcile with that fact.
And reconsider your approach into Haven. You're right. A total of 5 kills across all members of Bilibili right now. I mean...
Hey.
I mean...
That's one of those guys I'm talking about, right? The overreactors.
I mean, the situation doesn't look good.
Dude, I love this game. I mean, in that first map, everybody's like, it's Jover, DRX is done, they're going home.
Yep.
The second half, they're like, oh, they're back, Bilibili is fake.
Those tunes change quick.
I love being a part of the Valorant community when we overreact and we just can't stop.
No.
We can't.
No. Nor should we.
All right, so you're saying this game is Jover?
Oh, yeah, it's Jover.
That's messed up.
Bilibili have to stop the bleeding here. The fact that you've invested in a timeout as early as you have, YZ has the op, and it seems like it's going to be a peek out of Garage, but there's really no setup for it. I thought maybe a combo with the fault line or something like that, but this is...
He loves to go dry.
Yeah.
He loves to do that, and he is the master of re-peeking. We've seen him do work at angles like this, but look at DRX. They're already considering an early one-way, so he can't peek out. Now he can activate the dash and go for something more. This turret, nobody's peeking off of it yet.
RB has just filled in behind it. He didn't even get the turret. That thing's still up, pesky as it is.
And look at this double duo of Zest and Buzz again in front of this smoke. Already got value before. Drone coming in from backside. This is an opportunity to isolate a fight for Buzz up close, and they miss him.
They have no idea. Is K9 aware? Is he expecting Buzz's presence?
I mean, Buzz kind of has to wait for a second smoke here on front
Yeah.
B from either Mako or Rin to get out of this situation or use one of his own. But then he can get spammed.
Right.
If you show your presence. There's the smoke. Finally he can get out.
He's going to push into it. They both pushed into it at the same time. K9 tried finding space in that smoke.
Oh, they pitted in, which makes the big threat of them walking into plant, but they're not actually going for it. This dog up short is going to actually give up the hit, though.
Yeah, they've got to be careful because BLG have 2 members here, and one of them is YZ with the op, but he's going aggressive. He's going forward. That's the pit down. Zest has fallen. YZ finds one with the op. And now the paranoia is going to delay even longer. Mako has to take a step back with the spike. 18 seconds left. There's no way into the site.
Yeah, this is overcooked. I don't think they're going to have time to go either. C or B.
RB's the only one with some space, and he's now dropped.
And with the ult as well out of Bianc, he cannot die here. They might have time.
Oh.
And he does. Can he get the plant? No.
Oh.
Yes.
He's going to get it.
Just barely, I think.
How have they made it this far? This
You can't
could
lose
be
this one. You can't.
This could be a backbreaker. This could be devastating. Can Bilibili stabilize?
Why is he on the angle? Mako can't go past it.
No.
And he knows. Plus another one.
Not like this. A 2v2. Buzz with 3. He's got blades too. He's just perched down on the side. He's gotten 4. Can Buzz do it on his own? No, he falls. Mako looking for it. The spam connects. A back-breaking round as BLG crumble once more.
That is just absurd. And Bilibili, not only do they have to deal with the fact that they just lost to a perfect halves after dominating on their first. They were so close. Now, once again, so close. But they get hit with a 2v5. Oh my goodness.
It was like 0.1 left on the clock when the spike went down.
And they're going for a fast push down mid. Knives active for YZ, going for the Fnatic push.
This is well set up. He's going to see so much. Zess was the one that didn't get caught, though. And they continue to push into the aggression from BLG.
It's like they expected it. Zess was already hiding from the dart pre-round.
An attempt at catching him slipping just spells more disaster. DRX up 6-0.
18 in a row. Following up from Lotus. I asked if we wanted a bloodbath. Some people would be happy on that first half, but this is absolutely brutal.
Bilibili back with weapons, the op in the hands of YZ.
Every step of the way, they're expecting the peaks. They're expecting that push. Are they expecting the up down C now?
We haven't seen.
They are, man.
Yeah, that's mad.
Already smoking top C. Trying to deny information, force the op to rotate on a normal passive angle, but it's not normal.
Dude, it's crazy. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Oh, no. They're flat. It really feels like they have nothing left.
Solo duels too there from K-Knight.
Nice from Bianc on the counter. Buzz is weak. Still so much to do. 31 HP left for him, and he's got to hold the side by himself. And Bianc very well may.
Player standing.
A 1v1. Another opportunity at getting back into this. And this time it connects. Finally breaking the streak of, what, 18 rounds in a row?
18 in a row, but big round for Bilibili. They lose 2 players early. That's a 3v5, so some life in them still. And the Bilibili fans in the crowd desperately trying to inject some energy and deny the DRX fans something here in the arena. But this is what I'm talking about. It's so difficult. If you didn't do damage early into this bank from DRX, you're going to constantly get hit with, now you have all these ults up. And Bilibili, for the first time, not with max loss bonus, insta-ult into heaven from Mako.
And he's sticking it. There's so many things you're going to have to contend with here if you're Bilibili. You've got Buzz dashing forward, you've lost having control. They have to play off.
You should run.
Dual lockdown, though. Are there mollies from RB? I think he just placed on the spike, which means they can play post-plant here.
How do they handle this?
Lineups from Zest, lineups from RB.
Knight has ult.
4 out heaven.
But they don't expect Mako here, do they? Oh, he gets hit by the stun. He's going to dash right into him. YZ falls. Buzz still playing down in hell. No armor, 72 HP. The swing out into smoke. The spam connects as Buzz gets another. Looking for the third, and he finds it.
They just got flooded back in a situation where they're the ones trying to use that breach ult to get out on site. Buzz is under, really deep in dark, under heaven. He puts himself in a position where he doesn't get ulted, is able to protect Mako, who is luckily in the best position ever when YZ's trying to dash out. He's literally in his smoke.
Yeah.
Not able to trade that kill, and that allows all the players coming back from the lockdown to rush their way back in.
Buzz was a hero there for sure. 13-3 for DRX, and I don't know how Bilibili slowed this down, man. I really don't. They continue to put tools in the hands of their star. YZ once again with the rifle.
And he's not going to have an op in the rest of the half for this, though,
No.
because of this decision, unless somebody can save up for him, which Yosemite might be in position to do later on.
They ran it a couple times, and it didn't find a ton of value. That was so far back.
I do like how DRX are swapping up the person who's going up with Buzz to clear up close B. Normally it was Zest, this time it's RB.
Yeah.
RB is a less risky player to invest in this one. Already using one of his mollies, and Zest is closer
I've got your
to any sort of impact in terms of ults.
Ooh. Zest almost catches him there.
Oh, they're looking to pounce if that Seeker actually gets a little bit more information about how empty that site is.
Yeah, you could tell they were threatening it. But alas, they turned their attention to A once more. YZ, the only rifle in hand! And 2 found.
Down A.
But you see it,
30 seconds
paranoia,
left.
concerned about what's coming elsewhere.
Here.
RB is through garage right now.
I don't know that they're out of play. I mean,
Oh my goodness, he is deep.
Recalling my bot.
can they pick up these weapons? Can BLG?
He didn't clear the site, so DRX is going to have to do that themselves, but RB's in position to backstab them
seconds left.
through their own spawn.
Yeah, but I don't. There's really nobody who's going to be there. It's just K-Knight. And if K-Knight can win this duel out, they have so much control because they've upgraded weapons! They scooped up the weapons that were left down long, and now there's a fighting shot at this.
It's not planted for spawn either here. It's not planted for RB. Mako has to do everything. There's
He's done-
nobody coming RB's way.
I mean, he's done it before, though. Can Mako do it again? The fault line. Mako looking to connect, only 1 found. RB by himself in a 1v3, and the frenzy from a distance, no less, gets Bilibili their second.
That right there, you asked how do they stay in this, that right there was how. 2 hero rifles bought, they were still gonna be able to buy next round. So dealing with losing that loss bonus really well, and winning in that instance with the MasterCard Thrifty is so important. They had 3 frenzies, 3 pistols. Look at this out of YZ. And Doug, I think I have the script. I think they're gonna go ahead, DRX is gonna close out this half 10-2, and then there's gonna be the perfect half.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You got the script already?
Yep.
Well, we'll have a little bit of time to discuss this script as Bilibili's starting to find some life and injecting some pace into this defensive side. Again, YZ was the hero that last round because not only does he get the kills with the rifle that was invested and put into his hands, but that allowed the additional rifles to get picked up for Bilibili to give them a fighting shot at that.
And just those 2 rounds is enough to start to break the bank from DRX. It's not perfect out of them, but plenty still. If they're able to start stringing some rounds together, we might end up with a broken bye towards the end here for DRX. Either way, they're still in full control. But I think possibilities creeping back into Bilibili's head with those couple of round wins that they've gotten now. But they are starting to rely on some significant hero plays out of YZ. And you can see in some of those lost rounds too, people solo peeking to try to find value. They need these last 3.
So desperately. And they find themselves with a fighting chance.
I will say these halves with this type of Viper comp are really swingy. We can get really massive leads on one side or the other.
Are they going to try, again, aggression towards mid? This lineup from beyond, the fact that K-Knight just invested his fault line, YZ close. Oh, it's so well
A
handled.
double peek from mid and garage.
So nicely done.
And that's timed with Bianca's dart landing so that everybody is trying to avoid it or hit it.
All right, either you clear it out and then you get sucker punched, or you're lit up like a Christmas tree. DRX quiet on that one as they start to rotate towards A in a 3v5.
Somehow, some way, he's avoiding the alarm bot right now. No way to actually know that it's long. That gets some space. This peek from Yosemite.
Oh, just a bit behind.
And that was Marco smoking late because he's trying to get space here for Zest.
And those shots are going to show up late too. And Sax had already cleared out so much. They invest 100 Fury, though. Bianca's getting a little bit of damage done. Sax is going to fall into the Aftershock. A little bit more, though, as Zest gets 2.
These mollies are so good in that orb. He's going to TP past it, though. Oh, right into Zest!
Mako's really far back, too, and right now there's a smoke impeding his view, but they have to clear Zest, and they do. Bianca pushing forward. K-Knight with 3, and another round for BLG.
Might have started slow, but it might end strong here in these last couple of rounds on the half for Bilibili. And don't forget, this is a team, it's their first time stepping on a global stage at this event in group stages. It's their first playoff match at a global event ever. And they've actually earned themselves with their group stage push to get a second opportunity, even if they go down in this game. But everything that they learn along the way is so crucial. And I think you're already seeing them break through one of those barriers.
YZ is a judge. And Blades online. Wanting to find a way to peek through the smoke. You see the fault line set up for K-Knight too. They're going to pounce on this. They're going to pounce on this because Yosemite's going to get some info early on. And there it is. There's the fault line. And there it is for Yosemite. 2 found. YZ with the 3rd. Oh, it was a trap, and they took it. RB's going to have to 1v5 his way through this round. What a spectacular setup for Bilibili.
Most beautiful part about that to me is that the Jet's not the one pushing up short. Every other team is going for that sort of approach. But they carpet bomb through. Sewers with the breach, with the Omen, with the KJ following it up. And then it's YZ that they're baiting into with the Judge. And again, a fantastic smoke out of Rin from cross map. They found some life yet, and honestly, the fact that these rounds are coming, they're coming at crucial moments where DRX does not have these ults at any point in these last couple.
And they don't really have it. I mean, they have some money to bring this into this. A Bulldog for Buzz, he's got Blades, Zest with the Guardian, and meanwhile, the op for YZ. Currently no challenge down too long, though. And it seems like Bilibili are intent on wanting to take some of that space. They've tucked Yosemite into Cubby.
I love this too. YZ with the op on the angle, if they ever spot him. It's so much more difficult to deal with a player in Cubby because you're trying to not get opt at the same time.
Right.
There's the possibility of going for a pop smoke, but very unlikely to happen. But in that light, nice attempt there from Zest to break the turret with the spam, and he finds it.
There you go. Second time's a charm.
You normally don't have high pen weapons on the attack side, so the fact that the money is broken actually allows them to do that.
Prowler.
Are they trying to go for that same pit where Zest was trying to lurk through A when they hit the execute?
They may.
And maybe even force Buzz into a position. No, it looks like they just want to hit this B site.
Yeah, the smoke and the flash. Buzz dashing out with Paranoia to follow.
Oh, love that underneath him too, so he can push back into the back of sight. There's that pit I was talking about.
Mako feeling some of that pressure, has to reposition. They've got Buzz back sight.
Remember, Mako can always TP out.
Yeah.
Oh,
but is there
shots!
something to clear Buzz?
The plant didn't go down. 15 seconds, they have to rush it.
Zest is going to have to do it on his own, and Buzz gets cleared out as well. Managing to get the spike down, but you're left in a 5v3.
Oh, risky moment there. Zest was the one who had to go recover the spike. This lockdown's going to push off the pit.
They're going to have to give it up. And that's going to open up all the sight lines.
He's going to stay, Doug. They're going to try to hold the pit up.
Oh, it's so audacious. He does find 1 kill for it. He's still alive. Oh my gosh, he finally gets cleared out. A 3v2, stacks with both. He's gonna have to get it 5 HP and he cannot. Rin winning out the crucial 1v1 in the 11th hour.
And all of a sudden, this is very much a game again. We've been in this position before, but this one much closer. Bilibili still holding on.
I mean, for both of these teams, we've seen them have to deal through so many mental hurdles. For DRX, it was halftime in Lotus. And then when we really thought, everyone thought BLG was done, Bilibili was no longer gaming. They come back to get it to a 7-5 half, a competitive one at that. And for DRX, we've got to ask, really, we're going to get the pleasure to ask Buzz this because they got through the group of death. They had a nice long break. Let's see how they spent that time.
일단은 플레이오프에 가장 먼저 진출하게 되어서 너무 기쁘고요. 일단 그 플레이오프 경기 전까지 많은 시간이 있는데 그 많은 시간 동안 잘 준비해가지고 플레이오프에서 어떤 팀을 만나든 이길 수 있도록 열심히 하겠습니다. 사실 그 죽음의 조라고 불릴 만큼 많이 강한 팀들이 섞여 있고 어려운 조였는데 당연히 어느 팀을 만나든 이길 자신이 있었지만 저희도 질 수 있겠다라는 생각을 갖고 방심을 하진 않았고 일단은 플레이오프는 일단 그룹 스테이지보다 훨씬 더 중요하니까 그냥 저희끼리 그냥 이 남은 시간 동안 플레이오프를 잘 준비해서 좀 더 새로운 거를 만들어야 될 것 같고 그리고 좀 더 부족했던 거를 좀 더 많이 채워야 될 것 같고 그렇게 하면 또 이제 상대도 저희를 이제 간파하기 좀 어려워질 것 같아서 저희가 남은 시간을 잘 활용해서 그런 강점을 많이 이용해야 될 것 같아요. 다른 팀한테 없는.
Utility is just going to be so much to deal with. Buzz killed himself. Falls to his own nade, but Zess makes it okay. Keeps him in it. And Zess gets 3.
다른 팀한테 없는 그런 많은 시간을 잘 이용해서 저도 괜찮고 저도 어차피 패자조 가서 이기면 된다라는 마인드로 저희가 졌다고 너무 분위기가 다운만 안 되면은 패자조 가서도 혹은 1맵을 지든 2맵을 지든 다음 맵에서 좀 더 힘을 발휘할 수 있을 것 같아요. 죽음의 조에서 올라온 DRX이기 때문에 절대 쉽지 않은 경기일 거예요. 그래서 아무래도 좀 준비를 단단히 하고 오는 게 좋을 것 같습니다. 저희는 그 어느 팀을 만나든 아주 강력하기 때문에 잘 준비하고 오십시오.
For DRX working through the gauntlet that they did, they seemed to walk away from that a little bit more weathered, perhaps a little bit more grisly.
Yeah.
And that's what gotten them to this point in a situation where most teams crumble. Down 10-2 at half. They made a run at it. Now they find themselves on the receiving end of something special where Bilibili have made a run at this.
I love that from Buzz too. It's like he predicted the comeback on that first map. He said, we're trying to work on having that ability.
Oh, it worked. The time invested, remember the long break that they had. If that was their intent, if that was their focus, job well done.
Zess did use a molly here to prevent them from taking backside, to use this, keep this wall up, but Bilibili wants to flood behind it too.
This is so messy. It's a 5v5 for the site! And they've left Buzz tucked, but they know he's there! Bianca and YZ! A 2K for both. And RB's now just starting to rotate onto the site. And it's not gonna work out. Bilibili with the ever crucial pistol.
It's a really cool round from DRX, but Bilibili with the better response. So talking about preparation there at halftime. Both sides know exactly what to do in this situation. The fact that molly goes down signals to Bilibili. Okay, they don't want us backside. Let's wait until they take it and then really pinch them from all sides. YZ's first initial push, fantastic. And DRX is playing solo Killjoy towards A on both sides. Both the pistol and this one. No orb to even support him there.
Look where Yosemite and Ren are right now.
Yeah, they're chilling in spawn.
Yeah, they're so far back.
Yosemite's just on top of, like, under his turret.
Guys are just expecting some pressure and some aggression from the defense. It just never comes.
It's interesting too, because it was the right choice at the beginning of the round, but with the pressure up C long, DRX has chosen not to actually stay around in garage, stay around in mid. It looked like they might go for a similar push to what Bilibili was trying on their own ecos.
I believe RB spotted some of the players down long. But I guess not fully convinced that that's where the hit's coming from. Now he knows. I mean, he's stunned up. He's not going to be able to get off site. He's paranoid. He's flashback sight. Managing to find comfort in the smoke, but eventually cleaned up nonetheless.
It's so difficult to stay on site there when that paranoia is coming in, the stun's coming in, breaking the dart is difficult by yourself. You can see him panic on all directions there. Nothing he can do to get off.
Here.
It's just like waiting for death.
Oh, perfectly timed. One way, but he just walks into it. They're flooding out right now, and it doesn't matter anyways.
Oh, they're trying. They're trying, and just not the case. Bilibili somehow, after the disaster that we saw in the opening at Haven, have tied us up at 7.
This is a streak of their own right now.
Yeah, you're gonna have to start counting the other way at this point.
I was just remembering, how far did I get?
18.
Not enough fingers.
They've won 6 in a row, 7 of the last 8. going back to that first half. And again, I've got to draw attention to this because it's happened 3 times now. Every team and a half has won the bonus when they've had the opportunity to do so. 3 for 3. Can Bilibili continue that streak?
Ending ahead. The fact that this is already tied is commendable for Bilibili right away, because other teams who lose that first map like that, they crumble. We've seen it before against DRX. DRX against Furia back at Champions. It was a massive comeback to bring it back to OT and win instantly. And that second map, devastating. Here though, Bilibili still holding on and potentially could take the lead if they win the bonus.
Nice trade.
Cover going out.
Definitely favors the attackers in most cases, but Yosemite down means flanks are going to be possible. Wonder if DRX wants to start to go for it, but without Buzz, usually that's the guy who would go for some aggressive pushes.
Right.
They found Mako alone here though. And again, same situation, he's gonna make a TP play up close to the orb.
But he meets the same fate, much like we saw in the previous round. Stacks pop, flashing out of the smoke, doing it on his own. And they've gotten a shot at this. They've kept this very competitive. Bryn's gonna have to do it on his own. A 1v2 RB weak. Waiting for the challenge on the other side, and DRX throw the brakes on it, understanding the onus is on Rain to swing out and make something happen. Zest get 3, DRX take the lead back.
Zest has been phenomenal in this series. 15-9 right now, but in particular, throwing that molly as they go for the flood actually lands perfectly onto one of the players from Bilibili, vulnerables them up, makes it difficult for them to position themselves, which is one of the key strengths out of this Bilibili side. You see actually 2 mollies thrown out, landing perfectly. One on default and one where the Jet normally dashes. That fast flood as well, getting the flash onto YZ. Something that YZ's been getting caught out a lot by.
Oh, they've set Buzz up here. Now spotting both. Well handled, dancing around and trying to isolate the gunfights, but that's all it is for now. K-Knight has the Rolling Thunder.
Drone traded by Trailblazer, keeping the space here by Stacks. Well done. And the drone doesn't get info about exactly what's on the other side, because that's instantly re-cleared. Mako denies any more information from being gathered. Breach ult though, and they're playing up close. This could be really bad for DRX.
That flash didn't hit.
Look how back he's playing right here to make sure that he's hitting the player in short.
It didn't hit Buzz. Oh my goodness, it didn't hit Buzz. They're gonna check him. No, they don't! Buzz goes unchecked. Stacks gets another. DRX refused to relent on the site. K-Knight left by himself. The setup man now having to play getaway.
30 seconds left.
He can't.
And Buzz has just gotten away with the round. Just crazy. He just tucked himself into that smoke. And once again, a different smoke from Zest. He's throwing a lineup from spawn at the beginning of the round so he can set up on C as well. So spreading his Viper Util really wide and allowing somewhere to play for Buzz. Normally that smoke is going in between the default box and short. And here he's using it on long instead for that moment right there. It's simple things.
Just when it seemed like DRX was in trouble. I mean, the site exec looked so good. There was really no way, right, that they were going to survive. Yosemite even started to check the corner.
Yeah, he spammed him too. I mean, Buzz got down to 29 instantly off a shot through the smoke.
And the timing to just turn away.
Everybody ran past him even after he was getting those kills because you thought he was running away from his smoke. No, he stayed inside.
I mean, the chaos in a situation like that to try to keep your wits about you is so difficult.
Even to get the right information. 2 here players hitting the site during an execute like that. Comms have to be clean, crisp. Not quite there for Bilibili. And they will use their final timeout of the potentially series here. I'm still, sometimes I'm looking at the score, I'm looking at the series score, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is fine. Bilibili losing this map would be okay. No, because I had already written into my head, yeah, for sure they won. Biggest comebacks ever at global events.
Yeah, they've had their fair share of them.
It's ridiculous. I've seen 9 threes from them, obviously, with the curse, but 10
Right
twos
there.
as well. We just saw exactly that. Now here on Haven, they're putting down a comeback attempt from Bilibili. And they've actually kind of forced a weird situation to buy. It's stingers, it's knives, could be popped from YZ.
Just the one rifle in the hands of K-Knight.
And there's definitely not as much nuance here in the Bilibili attack side that we were seeing on Lotus.
Yeah, agreed. Absolutely.
It's a lot harder for them to, ooh, they're just gonna pop, maybe push through garage. Yeah, he's going for it. It's instantly denied by Zest of all people again.
The blade's blunted, the hit on the other side falls too. K-Knight with a nice trade onto Mako, but whatever attempt they had at trying to catch him sleeping just does not manifest.
A cool attempt, but
Yeah.
very low success rate.
Yeah.
One attempted to push your jet into B, into C link to go for a garage pinch on that. And there was not even smokes there from Rin to really assist with that. It's just, why is he trying to do it on his own? Look at this. That one smoke, but not a follow-up on to spawn, and then Rin TPing in. We've seen him so many times TP in front of DRX players. Maybe hoping for his teammates to get the kill so he can go for a fast push through garage, which would catch him off guard. Speaking of off guard, they're going to go for another C push, maybe a dash. Yep, dash through from YZ.
They've taken the space. What do BLG do off of this? Do they understand what they've lost, and do they try to pounce elsewhere?
Yeah, Buzz. So much control. They should have heard the stun. They should have heard everything, and they should have seen the wall swap, but I'm not even sure they've got that info yet.
I don't think so.
Nobody peeking mid, only a turret, so they might not. And once again, that orb swapped back to give room for RB to play in short instead. Everything's so well considered from DRX on this defense.
I mean, they've got him corralled and controlled.
Buzz early info, yep, no damage done to him. And this wall actually supports him quite good.
Yeah. Just a question of how much gas is left in Viper's tank and when that wall goes up.
Might not be any, actually. They're through it.
Yeah. Fully disrespecting the wall, the aftershock back sight. You hear the ult come through as they try to clear Buzz off this area. Mako has joined him.
Smoke lasts forever. They just hold on to backside. It's so nice.
Are they going to get to this? Yeah, they are. They're intent on trying to take the site, and so far, so good.
30 seconds left.
Bilibili have dropped 3. Make that 4. RB left alone. We've seen him in situations like this so often. A 1vx when the round seems like it's done. But can RB inject some magic into a situation where a couple of members are weak? No. Bilibili with another.
Mako there succumbing to what Rin just did. He TP'd backside where Bilibili players were ready for them. It's very difficult to deal with. In that situation, Mako throwing his smoke down, trying to play. You can see it right there on your screen. Mako, as the smoke elapses, is trying to get an advantage as Stacks fills the space that he leaves. But either way, Bilibili is so comfortable hitting the site, realizing they don't get the space that they really need, waiting for a little bit, and then pushing even further. And that's another example of that. Beautiful freeze.
Buzz with the op. And they very well might end here. They've taken some A main control, but concerned about short with really no setup here. I mean, you see the respect that both Jets are showing one another.
Yeah, this is interesting right now. I think Bilibili is considering the fact they just smoked the turret. DRX did, so they don't have information about what's down mid, so that's why they slowed down a little bit on A.
Is it going to reach? It didn't spot him. Oh my god. Oh, it finally spots him. Just at the very end.
I should have seen the op in his hands too. Trailblazer to maybe get him back on the line, and if it goes deep enough, he might get back and get all the info. Mako needs to stay alive though.
It's going to be difficult to do. 31 HP, no armor left, but he TPs and stays alive. Now Bilibili rotating towards C. Yosemite, the only one who's taken some damage so far for the attacking side. A note here, Zest is ahead of this. He's already rotated over. The Molly again from the Viper to cause some problems on the flood out from Bilibili, but they managed to circumvent it for now. RB 45 HP tucked behind the wall, trying to find some space. Again, this is madness. Almost every single player is just standing here on the site. There's nothing but smokes and walls keeping them apart from one another. And as soon as it goes down, it's going to be a bloodbath. 1 for 1 early on. Sax looking for another, but it's BLG once again who established control, but do they know Mako's here? He can stop the round by himself. He's gonna swing on it, but the spike planted. Mako with 3 and the round is over. DRX with another.
And he gets the final kill through the spam. He's just trying to deny the plant. I don't even know if he knew what was going on. Either way, if he doesn't get that, Buzz is so far away in that 1v1. Really difficult. BLG losing track of how many players were backside. I'm pretty sure they saw Mako early in that, when that wall, when the smoke all fell.
I can't believe that. Yosemite was so weak. The free kill, the spam through the box. We've talked so much about streaks in this series. DRX have won 4 of the last 5. They've reestablished control in the face of a ferocious attempt at a comeback from Bilibili.
And Bilibili has slowed down so much since those early attempts.
Yeah.
Remember, they were just throwing things at the wall in terms of pushing B on their ecos, trying to up the pace. But they're realizing that's the wrong strategy. And at this point, you start to second guess any ideas of what you have on the game.
Here.
They're so consistently being put in that position on C where they just can't push further through the Viper wall.
They use S's mollies, yeah.
And we saw the beginning of the half start in exactly that fashion.
What do they do to counter this? It seems like they want to set up for a flush out of garage, but I mean, RB, he's going to step back on the smoke. You got the fault line set up from K-Knight for them to dash out forward. You've got the paranoia set up too.
Oh, pit reactively, but there's an ult coming out from Bianca right now. Does he tag anything?
They haven't gotten out onto site.
No.
Dude, DRX have handled this so well.
30 seconds and they have to pivot. They can't go C anymore.
30
There's no way to flush Zest out.
But they've left Yosemite as a trap. A trick! Oh, where did that shot go? That looked like it was going to be between his eyes. Buzz sticking around. And he pays for it. That's Bilibili. It seemed labored, it seemed late, but they roll over DRX. Can Zest 1v4 this? What's the money situation look like? Spotty. Buzz has a bit to go around.
Toxins going up.
So maybe they take a shot at this, but he's just going to save this. Not wanting to give a orb over to K-Knight, to Yosemite, who's very close to his lockdown too.
Toxin screen down.
A 20-second decision to push back out of garage and into B. Into the hot. Buzz with a crucial missed shot.
I mean, Andy, to take a look at that one more because that looked on.
Yeah, could come back to haunt him for sure.
And then the decision to stay.
Try to deal. Oh, whoa.
What? What happened there?
Did he have a gun? Yeah, he did. That's question mark.
Where did he die?
Just to the spike down bottom grass.
Yeah, but
there's that miss. Oh my God. I'd be so mad.
And there's a hole in his hood now.
And then just ripping them apart with the insert in garage too.
Oh, bro.
That's just not.
That's silly.
No reaction. Love it. Ay, ay, ay.
2 rounds keeping these two teams apart. DRX still with control, the op in the hands of Buzz, but they're going fast towards A. And that's not where they are. YZ with blades, the first one found. He's got to drop down, but K-Knight's there to help. Can Zest once again be the anchor? Can it be too much? He's already gotten 2. He tries to pop out. Zest almost with 4.
I swear every series that guy has game-saving multi-kills. And it might just have happened again. Buzz and Mako on the retake. Mako's been great. Buzz with the op, though, is going to find it difficult to get value.
That's going to hit him.
Maybe both? Buzz has knives.
That is both, you're right. But the dash forward, he clears hell first. Leaving Byung by himself, and Buzz snatches it back. Beautifully set up by Mako. The paranoia was pixel perfect.
That's the difficult situation when you go for that setup. It's so consistent at getting value normally. Setting up the crossfire in dark, in graffiti. And I don't know how that takes down K-Knight. That's just ridiculous.
Dude, holy Zest, man.
He's
what
been
a hold.
A rock.
Yep.
I call him that all the time, but he really is. And DRX is on match point, not match point, series point. Upper bracket semifinal point. A team who gets there almost every time. Here they are again. No strangers to it. And definitely no strangers to closing out maps like this.
Bilibili do have some tools, though. They've got the Rolling Thunder. Rain has his ult currently with the Spike, but you see the buy, Bianc with the Spectre.
And they've swapped up this wall again, don't forget. The Viper wall in front of B, into Garage and down bottom C. It hasn't worked in the past. That's a lot of info.
3 spotted with that Trailblazer.
And that's from C-Link. I mean, that thing went far. Drone to get him up close. Mako with the smoke. They're not going to rely on that delay. Remember, they can't without the Viper wall. So Mako maybe has 1 assist smoke.
Crosshair train, and once again, the miss, but he somehow dodges it once more, dashing forward, trying to find space, and Mako with 2, but Rin on the counter, punching right back.
Mako was full stunned in that situation. Zest is fast.
Again, can Zest be the hero for DRX once more?
Just gets the kill and backs off. Playing this very well, but here's the freeze from Bilibili. Can they find any way to maybe TP it on the other side? Maybe, if Bianc goes aggressive.
But you leave him here by himself? No, they're gonna dig their heels in, at least I thought, towards C. A reposition to play down long.
Bianc thinks he can play. Yeah, they're playing away from the Killjoy lockdown.
Oh, he's got 2 shocks too.
Oh, where's he
Rin,
gonna TP?
where are you headed?
Remember, K-Knight on Lotus was so good at finding the proper spots,
This
but
is so safe.
he's not even using it through B. Too scared. It's not planted for long, remember, but actually putting that threat in their head.
It is, and he's got shocks, but he's not using them. He's just going to try to spam through, and RB's going to be able to hold it the whole way. There was not enough. RB sticks it. DRX survived the best.